Welcome back to Redcat Live, guys. I'm your host, Oscar Ramirez, the host with the most tummy, that is. But man, I'm really happy to have you guys back. It's just another week, another installment. Today we take on part two of what we started last week, as well as drop, if you've read the description, the rules for the 2022 Redcat RC Lowrider SEMA Build Off. I know I said lowrider build off. That's because we're only going to be concentrating on lowriders for this year's SEMA build off. What that means for you, if you are in the scene, we want to see you. We want to see your build. We want to see what you're doing with it. We're going to go over the rule sets for those. Here at around 4 o'clock, you will see a post populate on all of our social media platforms with the rules and regulations, how to sign up, including a website for you to go and sign yourself up for the event, and what hashtags you need to be doing so that we can keep an eye out on your build as we go. The SEMA build off, we will come back to in just a few seconds, and I will help answer any questions that we may have, as well as go over the rules for it as well. Raymond Medellin, what's going on? Representing Fresno, California. Thank you so much for stopping by. Lamarcus Bacon, what's good, man? Represent Inglewood, Cali, man. I love it. Yoshi's here in the house, man. I love it, man. Yoshi says today's show is sponsored by tacos. And another word I can't say. Oh, man. Let's see, man. Well, what is going on, everyone? Thank you so much for swinging on by. If you were watching last week's episode, we kind of wanted to start doing a convertible conversion on our Monte Carlo, and we ended up doing a Hollywood top in a tutorial, just kind of to get people that are new into the hobby, are new into the Redcat RC Lowrider scene, that may need just a little bit of a push, right? Maybe a little bit of confidence by seeing someone else do it and not accidentally cutting off their fingers, right? So that's always a plus when we get to do that and we get to go home without blood all over my vehicle. So last week I want to hash up to a successful episode, all things considering. What's going on, Felix Delgadillo? What is going on, sir? Hey, so let's dive into this. We again talked last week a little bit about the Monte Carlo. I went over different Lexan scissors, right, that we have. Some of them are curved, like this one, which I'll show you on the overhead camera in a little bit. Some of them are straight, and then your good old trusty X-Acto knife, which always comes into play. All great tools to have. We also touch base on how to maybe score a nice straight line like the one that you see up on top and on bottom. And what we did with that is we used masking tape, went over the top to give ourselves a nice straight line, and we went ahead and proceeded to score the Lexan plastic, making a groove inside of it, weakening it, and then eventually snapping it and cutting it and cutting the windows out as well. As an example, someone asked last week, hey, you know what if I wanted to keep the windows and I wanted to cut the rest of it off? You can absolutely do that. Here you will see a body that some of the guys in the support team did themselves, and you can take a look here and see that the roof has been completely cut off of the vehicle, leaving the windows intact. We've seen a lot of people get really creative, cutting off the entire front window, or even half staffing the window, right? Making it look like it's rolled halfway down. Or they'll cut out this main window and then they'll do that same effect to the rear one, making the rear windows look like they're kind of half rolled up. There is no right or wrong way. It's your preference, right? It's your car. It gives you the opportunity to customize it the way that you see fit. So don't be afraid. Get out there, do something to it. And I get it. When bodies cost an arm and a leg to have, you're looking at me like, dude, yeah, but I have no experience. Well, you're only going to get better by doing so, right? And you got to jump in and take a stab at it, literally just, and give it a shot. Now that we have videos, you can watch as a tutorial, see what to do, what not to do, some tricks and tips that have helped myself and some other folks here as well. And if a lot of them have any issues or maybe concerns or maybe information that they can share, I'm sure they'll share here in the comments as well, like a lot of them so graciously did last week. Everyone that was here last week, thank you so very much for all the awesome feedback. No, I don't have my co-host with me today. Unfortunately, the co-host was grounded due to I'm just kidding. He wasn't grounded. I just didn't tell him I was on live, and he was on the phone. So I was like, later. But what's going on, Eddie Bryson? How are you, sir? Jose Diaz, how are you? Let me see here. All right. So again, need to figure out something on the remote. Shoot the question. Let's see if we can help answer that if it's something simple enough. If not, we'll have you call support, which they're always helpful and willing to help out. Martin Lara, what's going on? Tim Quintero, how are you guys? So, guys, here's a 64 example of what we were talking about with cutting off the top of the vehicle, leaving the windows intact. As mentioned in this episode, we're going to tackle and finalize the cutting of the rest of the top of the back of the Monte Carlo, making it a full convertible. Because we've got to live that vert life, you know what I'm saying? So before we do that, I want to touch base, and let's really kind of dive in because a lot of you guys are in here very specifically for the SEMA Build Off. So without further ado, let's dive right into the SEMA Build Off. SEMA Build Off last year, we had an amazing turnout. Lots of vehicles that were brought in or entered into the actual build off itself, and it got really hard to choose. So hard, in fact, that we actually ended up choosing 2 vehicles. And last year's winner was none other than Jeff Lozano and Louis Alcala. 2 amazing builds, radically built in their own way, but very, very amazing. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Mr. Christopher Mann owns both vehicles now. So what an honor for him to be able to have such amazing vehicles built by their predecessors and just active members in our community. The guys that I mentioned, Jeff and Louis, are great builders. They've shown us time and time again with every build that they've done that they just keep raising the bar and just keep amazing us with just awesome builds. So with that in mind, now it's your turn. I heard Louis Alcala's out. He's not going to want to build this year, which is okay. And if he does later on, even better. But now it's your turn. What do you got? Some of the rules that you guys should know about when it comes to the the Redcat 2022 SEMA Build Off is that we're going to be bringing, if chosen, taking your vehicle with us to SEMA, and it will be on display all week long at our booth. Approximately hundreds of thousands of eyes walking through, a lot of exposure for your vehicle, and just kind of a cool badge of honor to say, hey, my ride was at SEMA, when a lot of folks can only dream of having their one-to-one there. So is it you? Will it be you? Listen, I can build some stuff, but this is even out of my realm. So if you got what it takes, you're a builder, and this is your realm, RC Lowriders is here to hear and see what you guys got to offer. Some of the things that you should know about is there's going to be a link, and it is in the description of this video, and you will see it again populate at 4 o'clock across all social media platforms. First thing you need to do is you need to go to that link, register your name, address, email address, and then that's step 1. Step 2 is taking pictures of your build when it's completed, or if you want to catch our eyes as you're building, use the affirming hashtags. Hashtags that will be needed to be used is going to be RC SEMA Build Off 2022 in conjunction with Redcat Creations and Redcat Racing. Hashtag those 3 hashtags on any platform that you utilize. Primarily, we're going to be looking for them on Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram, and Facebook. We can search those hashtags, making sure that you've used all those hashtags. If we find a vehicle that we like when that time comes, guess what we're going to do next? After that, we're going to verify whether or not you entered appropriately on the original website that we mentioned. As long as those avenues meet, guess what? You might be the winner, and we'll be reaching out to you guys and announcing it live like we did last year. So if this is for you and this is what you want to do, there's probably a couple rules you might want to know about. There aren't a lot. Just the gist of it. And the reality is that you only need a couple things to keep in mind. Custom builds must be on a Redcat LRH 285 chassis or an LR 260 chassis. So these are the chassis that we primarily see with the Redcat 64 and the Redcat Monte Carlo. So as long as you have those chassis in play, you're good. Vehicle whatever else you want to do with it, whatever else you want to get radical with, paint job, paint schemes, customizations, sky's the limit. So as long as you have the basis for using the LRH 285 chassis and the LR 260 chassis, you're in. It's that simple. Let me make sure I'm double checking some of these comments, guys. Hold on one second. Tim Quintero, thank you for that. Tim says, love what you do to help us out. Hey, I'm just one guy with a little bit of info, and hopefully if I can help one person out in all of this, I feel like I'm successful at it. So that's a win. Thank you. BT Thurman, what's going on, sir? Christopher Shedd, how are you? You plan on doing the gold trim on the Monte at all? Are we planning on doing gold trim on the Monte? Maybe. Time's going to tell. Just stay with us. You never know. That might be something that might already be in the works. It might be something that we haven't even started yet. But great question, and hopefully the powers that be are watching. I'll make sure to add that to the list of things to ponder and potentially bring up, and hopefully something that can come to fruition in the near future. Let me see. Tim Quintero, how about Redcat putting out a Lowrider RC magazine? There's so many people doing magazines out right now, and with magazines kind of being more of a digital thing these days than a paperback thing. Even we're seeing the fall of a paperback magazine. So we at this point like to venture to say we're probably not playing with any RC magazines, but if it's something that could come up and something that could push in the future, you never know. So thank you for the suggestion. We never like to turn any suggestion away because you never know. It might be something that could potentially bring greatness in the near future. So thank you for that, Tim. Sean Rourke, what's going on? Representing Florida. Louis Alcala, oh, he's watching. He's in the house. Is he going to build something? I'm calling you out, bro. Felix Delgadillo says he's ready. I've seen some of his builds. And let me tell you, you guys got a lot of work to do if he's going to be entering. Devin May, is there a crawler SEMA Build Off? Unfortunately, Devin, this year, the powers that be have chosen to only concentrate on the Redcat RC Lowrider scene for SEMA Build Off. So unfortunately, no crawlers will be entered this year. Only the lowrider scene will be at bat. Have I shown anyone how to cut the trunk like I did the top already? John, you know what? I have not done a trunk, and who knows? Maybe if this works out, and if there's enough people that want to see that, that's something that I could potentially offer next week, dragging this into a part 3 series of this Monte Carlo. So we'll finish off here, cutting off the rest of the top, and then potentially, if there is enough interest, if people want to see a trunk cut open, next week I can come back and we can do the trunk as well. So thank you for that suggestion. Great one. Jesus, you didn't miss anything, man. I just pounded about 6 or 7 tacos back to back within 5 seconds. So thank you for chiming in. Louis like, I'm waiting for the Lowrider taco cart release. Hey, that's what's up. I'm down with that. All right, guys. So now you guys know what the SEMA Build Off is going to be about. RC Lowriders is going to be in the forefront when it comes to that. The SEMA Build Off starts officially today, at today's date, July 13th, 2022. On October 11th of 2022, we will cap it off and we will announce the winner on October 12th, 2022. And then again, as mentioned, we will take your vehicle, pay for expedited and insured shipping of your product to be brought to us, and then back into your hands. A lot of the guys that won last year, the 3 guys that won last year, they already know the spew. We take pictures before, we take pictures as it arrives, and we take pictures before we put it back in the box and send it out to you guys. So keep that in mind. You will be without your vehicle for about 2 to 3 weeks. So if that's something that you just don't want to do, no big deal. If you want us to participate, have at it. Have a good time with it. If all of these logistics works with any of you guys that want to enter in, by all means, send them my way. Let's get cracking. Let's get it going. I want to see who's the best of the best when it comes to building these RC lowriders out there within our scene. So bring it. Let's do it. Let's have a good time. All right. Let's shut that off. All right, well, let's get to it, guys. BT Thurman, Christopher J. Man should enter his jeweled out 64 SEMA Build Off. Hit the boy up, man. Hit the man up, man. Mr. Man, where you at? All right, guys. So last week we touched base on cutting and how to use the X-Acto knife, the blade, how I like to use it, how it's easier to snap and manipulate, but always a need for scissors, Lexan scissors, to be used to cut and crop perfect areas. Yes, sir.
What did they win?
Oh, you guys actually wanted to know what you guys are going to win? I was just hoping you guys would do it for free. All right, well, I got caught because I was hoping someone was going to ask, and no one did, so I was just going to wait and drag it out to the end. But the boss says, what are they going to win? Well, it'll be an RC Lowrider. Yeah, RC Lowrider. We will announce a little more information about that in the future. And you know what? We may even be subject to change and adjust if we feel like it. But none of the story, the winner of the SEMA Build Off will not only get their vehicle shown off at SEMA for hundreds of thousands of people to walk by and take a look at as they walk by the booth, but you'll also be able to take home a brand new RC Lowrider to add to your stable and potentially start a new build as well. Look at Kyle, I was about to ask. And who knows, guys, like I said, we can change and adjust things. So if we feel like, you know what, we're going to do something else to the winner, then we may do that too. So all I'm saying is you don't want to miss it. You don't want to miss what it's going to be about. Be a part of it. Enjoy the fun. Build each other up. Let's challenge each other to come up with some really awesome and new creative ways to just enjoy the hobby and keep it promoting it in a positive manner. So without further ado, let's kick up the webcam and let's wrap this bad boy up. And if I get enough people that want to see how the trunk is done, drop it in the comments. You know what? Drop a taco in the comments and I will go ahead and make sure we extend this to the next week. We'll then cut the trunk open and show you guys how to do that. So last week, as mentioned, we did the Hollywood top. What we started with was removing the interior panel. You want that out of the way. You don't want to scratch it up by any means. All right, camera up top. Hello. All right. Derek, how you doing, sir? Dang, Brandon, Tommy's in the house. I would love to win a taco shop date with Oscar and Matt Jackson, is what Louis says. Hey, I can't with you guys. You guys are too much. All right. So, guys, when it comes to cutting the top on the Monte Carlo or any car, is you want to work on your lines. And one of the tricks that I used last week, we're going to reuse again this week as we do it. So one of the things that I want to point out when it comes to cutting this side is I want to cut above the chrome line. And I'm going to start by doing the window itself. So if I can cut right along this line or score it, that'll be my first point. My second point that I'll concentrate on is going to be this line that I want to match to where the chrome is right there. I might actually cut right underneath the chrome on the back window because we won't need that. So to get that line straight, we'll just get a piece of masking tape. And I'm just going to line up my chrome strip corner with the bottom of the chrome strip on the back window. So what I did was I taped right above the chrome line there, and then I made it match to where it was the bottom of the chrome right there. And that'll just allow me to get a nice straight line when I'm scoring this section, right? Nothing fancy, nothing new, just again, to give me a nice guided line. And then let's say after you finish up and you say, you know what, one side's a little higher than the other, no big deal. You can shave, right? Guys, there's no replacement for displacement. So it's always okay to take a little bit off at a time rather than too much to a point where then you can't add back, right? So it's okay to sometimes be in it, do it, and then come back to it at a later time. So without further ado, let's get into it. I'm going to take this tape off again so that I can start with this window. And we're just going to follow the top of the chrome trim. And a lot of guys can, at this point, if you wanted to, you could use Lexan scissors because it's going to be a more of a straight line, easy to follow, which we could do as well. There we go. I'm just going to follow the line right above the chrome there and then end it right there. So now you guys can see this section has been opened up. And now we're going to do the same thing on this side. I'm going to use the Lexan scissors. For a corner like this, where you guys can see a slight bevel shape, using Lexan scissors, so again, you have a couple options with them. You have straight scissors, like you see these black ones right here, and you have some curved ones. You will need a lefty, there you go. You need a righty, turn them around, there you go. So sometimes using the curved scissors can be a big benefit, especially when you're dealing with a line that's slightly curved, right? So we're just going to get in here again, following that upper chrome trim piece, and then I'm going to match it right to the corner like the other side. Perfect. There we go. That side has been separated. You guys can see the gap. Alex Amora, what's going on, sir? All right, Daniel. Daniel, man, you cut tops off of these things all the time, bro. You're the man. But I'm with it, man. If you think there's value in it, I'm so down to just kind of share the little bit of wealth of knowledge that I have. It's not a lot, but once in a while, it's kind of cool. So now I put my tape back on, guys, as I mentioned, right? Get that line. You can use those same Lexan scissors. Keep following the tape line. All right, and right when you get to the edge, the corner here, you're going to want to turn the scissors. Oops, move this there out of the way. There we go. You're going to move these. Oops, move my mouse out of the way, guys. Sorry. You're going to move these scissors, and you want to wrap around the actual Lexan itself. Lexan can be forgiving, but at the same time, it can bite you in the butt if you aren't careful, right? Take your time with it. It's flexible, right? You can manipulate it. I can hold it at certain angles as I need to get my scissors in a little bit better. So you can see how I'm holding it. I'm flexing it. It almost looks like I'm destroying it, but it's going to take back the same shape once I'm done. All right, we're just going to follow that line, guys, that chrome strip line. And again, if you're nervous and the blade was, using an X-Acto blade is just not comfortable for you, no big deal. You can use Lexan scissors, as I mentioned last week, and there's things that you can do to then clean up your cut lines. One thing that I noticed with Lexan scissors, if you're not careful, you can leave a lot of jagged edges or uneven edges that kind of wave and they go up and down. You can simply clean them up with a little bit of sandpaper. I like to use, like, imagine this is a strip of sandpaper. I will get like a block of wood or something, put it on the back so it's nice and straight and flat, and then I'll take it, and go across all of it so that it gives you a nice smooth finish, right? Avoiding that sharp edge that could cut you otherwise. Let me see. What's my secret for my beard game strong? I tried, dude. Look at that. Here you go. I don't know. I'm thinking about cutting it off here pretty soon, man. It's getting a little ridiculous. All right, so now we're going to take the piece of tape, guys. We're going to do the opposite side. Again, right where the chrome, top of the chrome line is. I want to match it just to about where the chrome line is in the back. So you guys can see here. Cool. So I'm just following the top of the chrome piece there, and I'm matching it to the back here, the corner. Okay. Hey, Joe Espinoza representing Los Angeles, California. That's what's up, man. Thank you for stopping by. All right, guys. Let's get this bad boy cut up. So I got to see quite a bit of tacos, guys. So I think what we're gonna do is moving into next week, we will add part 3, and we will then next week start the live cutting the trunk open on this car as well. And then cutting the trunk on this would be pretty similar to, well, not so much, but similar to the 64. The 64 is going to have a lot more things that have to be cut. When you cut the back trunk of a 64, you have to actually cut through the back Lexan piece to cut through the actual and the housings of the tail lamps. You won't have to do that with the Monte. The Monte was actually a lot easier. And I'll also try and find the 3D printed files that I was able to find. But there's also a couple guys out there that sell hinges for your trucks. I believe Uzu has a set out there. I'm not sure if Jesse has a set out there. There's a couple of the guys that print and offer hinges. Trust me, hinges are a must. It'll help keep everything open and open and close. All right, so let's keep it going here. The winner would take a big box of blow pops. No. All right, let's do this. Now that I got those curved scissors in there, and we're just going to keep following the bottom part of the chrome trim. And that's kind of the cool part is if you utilize like a fail-safe line, and if your fail-safe line is that chrome strip, it kind of gives you a nice guide, right, to follow. And having that guide to follow is as straight as line as you're going to get from one side to the other, right? There's going to be some people that are like just going to chime in at the end here, and they're going to go, man, why would you cut that top off, bro? I would have taken that body. There it is, guys. Take off the tape here. Hey, Alex Zamora, he's hanging out at Tacos El Gordo. Hey, you know what? Tacos El Gordo, big shout out. That's my go-to spot now anytime I'm in Vegas or Southern California. I found out that you guys have one out there as well. I got to check that one out. I was in Vegas and I stopped by them. Man, I love the place. And there's some folks that talk bad about the place. I loved it. I had a good time. The food was spot on. Los tacos al pastor were fire. The toasted tortillas, I'm in it. I'm in it to win it, and now I'm hungry. So, here you go, guys. There's the cut itself. You can see the cut line. See how when I use the scissors, you can kind of see. Let me see if we can show it here on this side. You can kind of see a little bit of a jagged edge left behind. Well, that's just the scrape marks from the scissors cutting into it. I'll probably be able to show you a little cleaner here. There we go. There you go. You see those lines I was telling you guys about? You won't get those lines if you take your time and use an X-Acto knife to score your lines. The snap effect will look more like the finish line that you see here. Right? All the stuff that you see here, the little edges, this is all fuzzy stuff that you can just take off by taking your razor blade and scraping it. And it's good. If you take the edge of your blade and then take it across the edge, you can actually, if the blade is nice and new, you can actually take off quite a bit of the unevenness or those little frayed little hairs of Lexan that kind of stick up from the cuts. I would still, at this point, venture to say that I would take a piece of, as mentioned, sandpaper, putting it on a flat edge, like a piece of wood or small piece of 2x4, tape or staple your sandpaper to the Lexan, or sorry, to the block of wood, and then I would go across the back of it just to make it nice and smooth and as flat as can be. Joe Lacey, great call. He recommends 100 to 120 grit on something like that. It should do the job very well for you guys. That's good to know, Alex. The original spot is in Palm City in Chula Vista. Dude, that's what's up. I'm definitely going to check them out again, man. I'm just hungry now, Jesus. Let's see here. Oh, man, they got it in Bakersfield, too. All right. Juan Antonio Bermudez, how are you, sir? So, yeah, guys. So, now the next thing you do is, because the pieces of Velcro are still in place, they weren't removed, they weren't modified or repositioned in any way, you can just take your interior, put it back in there, and there you go. You got a convertible. You're repping that vert life. Now, one could venture to say that if I wanted to, I could probably cut. I'll show you guys. Here, let me turn off this camera. Jesus. There we go. Sorry about that. So you guys can see there's a little bit of a gap right here. You could actually probably take that down a little bit more. I left a little bit of it up after looking at a couple cars that were already converted. I just, like I said, I followed the line, the cut line of the chrome, so I can get a nice straight start and give me enough space between the actual edge and where the trunk line starts, right? So now I can have a little bit of rigidity, if you may, there. Now, let's say that we were to cut the trunk open on this car next week. What's one thing that we're going to notice? Well, we're going to notice that the body is going to get a lot weaker, right? You don't have enough structural support like you did before having the convertible top on the car. So there's a couple things you can do. If you're in California, it may not be so easy for you, but in other parts of the United States, we still use straws, plastic straws. Getting a plastic straw, I actually like putting them in the seam of the corner. So you place them right in here in the corner, and you hot glue them in place, just offering a little bit more support. So sometimes you can actually get wooden skewers, right? You can use those as well, cutting them in certain pieces so that you can make sure that you have a little bit more support and a little bit less flexing thereof. Adding a trunk and adding hinges to this itself is going to change the way the whole car feels. So keep that in mind. We've removed the most structural part of the car, the most support that it had, which was the top, right? So now if you notice, I can wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. My money don't jingle, jingle. Sorry. So now that we're done with this, next week we'll do the top. We'll get started on that. Top's going to take a little bit longer, in my opinion, because, or sorry, not the top, the trunk. It's going to take a little bit longer because this is one that I will not use Lexan scissors for. If anything, I might use them right at the very end of the corner, but that's about it. For the trunk itself, to get a nice straight cut line like the one that you've seen on my Monte Carlo, using a nice sharp blade is a must. So you know what? We got a few more minutes. Alex says my TikToks are comedy. Thank you, bro. Just don't let anyone else know that. PJ, what up, man? Represent Black Boys LA is in the house. I love it, man. Black Boys RC. Great group of guys, man. I love those dudes. All right, guys. So let's open up this screen again. I'm going to drop this down a little bit. There we go. So what I like to do is take a look. Let me show you on this screen. If you take a really close look at your trunk, you're going to see that there's lines that go across. There you go. You can see them right there. And if you follow those lines very simply with your X-Acto knife, you really can't go wrong, right? Or your utility knife, if you may. One thing that you will have to do when you cut, again, I recommend take off your interior because you don't want to cut into that yet. You will have to modify the interior by cutting off a little section on both sides to mount the hinges whenever you get those. Joe is at his desk. He did not get enough work done, so he did not get approval from the boss to be out here, unfortunately. I guess he spent too much time, eating tacos at lunch and not enough time working. It happens. It happens to me every day. All right, guys. So first and foremost, we're going to go ahead and take the blade, and we're going to follow. And the first line that you do, I don't recommend going really hard into the Lexan. I don't want you guys putting a lot of pressure into it. Let the blade do the work, right? The first score that you do, you want to make sure that is nice and straight, following the lines that are already there for you guys, that you guys can literally just use as guides. Now we'll go nice and straight all the way down. That's the first line. And then literally as you take the tip of the blade, you can, and wiggle it, you can find that groove that you just started. So now, same pressure, not a lot of pressure, letting that line deepen with every time that we put the blade on. Find the groove, do it again. And as you're doing it, now I'm applying a little bit more pressure at a time. I'm not worrying so much about the bottom side of it, and I'm not so much worried about this line yet. I just want to focus on one line at a time. This is the kind of time that you definitely want to go ahead and, throw on Stranger Things, throw on a TV show, whatever it is that you like to watch, let it play in the background, maybe an old movie that, you like to watch a lot. And again, I'm adding a little more pressure as I go, making sure I'm not maximizing the pressure, but rather just making sure that that groove that I'm creating with the X-Acto knife or the utility knife is getting deeper and deeper, weakening the plastic, right? So now that I have that line started, I feel comfortable enough. It's not going to snap that easily, but now we can start on the opposite side. Same thing. I'm using the light as it's coming into me or at me so that I can keep my eyes focused on the line. So as I'm dragging my blade down the line, I'm following that natural line that was made when the Lexan was molded. Again, like I mentioned before, the first couple of times you score the Lexan, you don't want to put a lot of pressure. And then as we go, you can start applying a little bit more pressure at a time. The goal is if you start soft and soft and soft and soft as you go, you have less chance of your blade moving, and then now you're done. This is the most nerve-wracking part. It can be anyways, but for someone like myself, I've been doing this for a long time. Doing this is a no-brainer to me at this point, but even I make mistakes. I've made numerous mistakes. I made a mistake on my black Monte Carlo that a lot of people don't even notice. I know it's there, so it annoys me, but what I'm getting at is that it's okay to make mistakes. No one's perfect, and it's going to happen once in a while. In a perfect world, we like to, do this to a point where we don't make a mistake because then it looks better. And I think that's going to be the hardest part for a lot of people, kind of getting out of their comfort zone and doing something like this, All right, so now, I got my lines kind of started on both sides. The groove that the blade is making is getting deeper and deeper. I can actually feel it as I rub my fingers, across it. Let me see if you can see the score line. You can actually see it's pretty pronounced right in there. So, Tony Gutierrez, what's going on, big brother? How are you, man? Hopefully you're having a blessed week. All right, so now that we have the two lines on the side started, I feel comfortable. They're nice and straight. The first initial times you score, again, they're the most crucial because those are the ones you want to get as dead straight as possible to start off with. Now, we're going to do the top section going across the top. Now, for this, I'm going to maneuver the body a little bit and maybe out of camera frame for a second, just because I need to keep my eyes on the line and the reflection so that I can not mess it up here. actually. And it's, again, it's okay to hold the body. So you can see my hand is gripping this thing. I'm not crushing it and creasing it. Once you crease it, yeah, you can do some damage to the body. But I'm holding it, using my weight on the body itself, my shoulder, to hopefully keep it from moving as I'm scoring it. I'm keeping my thumb planted on top. Right. The longer lines do happen to be a little more nerve-wracking. And if you get to a point where, oh shoot, I lost the line, reposition yourself. Don't be a hero. Take your time with it. That's the hardest part, is the light in here is so bright. All right. And again, guys, now that the initial lines are created and the scoring is done, you know, now I can always find that groove, getting my blades, kind of finding where that groove starts, and I can then keep gliding and keep going, keep going. What's going to eventually happen, and you'll notice, is on the back side, there's small indentations where the Lexan mold is created. You guys can see them right here in the, where is it? Right there in the corner there. You will actually see daylight through there once you've gone through enough of the Lexan that is starting to get into the paint. And that's when I feel like now we're getting somewhere and it's weak enough that I can start manipulating it, try to snap certain parts of it, and then coming back with my blade and finishing off my corner cuts as needed. No word on the bodies yet, as mentioned before. Eric, via messenger, brother, sometime in August, and we're not there yet, bro. So August and September should be the month for the bodies, so just stay with us. We're working on them as we speak, bro. All right. Keep in mind too, guys, if you find that you've gone off course just a little tiny bit, and we're talking about like less than a millimeter, don't worry about it, because you're going to have to shave and sand this back panel to get it to open and close just right, so it doesn't grab on it, catch on itself, right? You don't want the actual trunk lid catching on the sides of the actual body. That was one thing I noticed when I did my Monte Carlo, that it grabbed. So I had to just take that sandpaper, like I was telling you guys, on a flat surface, kind of square it up a little bit, getting rid of any of the burrs, any of the edges, rough edges that might be there, and then it opened and closed, you know, awesome after that. So all right. So, you know, as mentioned, guys, for a lot of you folks, you know, you look at something like this and you're like, dude, I don't think I could do this. I don't think I'd want to cut, you know, Lexan and then mess it up and then have to buy a body. Well, the cool thing is that if you mess up a body, you can then go to your spouse and be like, hey, I want to do a custom body. I think I'm ready for that. All right. Anytime I break something when I RC, I just use it as an excuse to upgrade. All right. So let me see. We're going to try and see if I can snap this. So what I'm doing right now is I'm grabbing the corner, the two corners here, and now I'm going to give it a couple pushes here, flexing it, not creasing it, and you can see that I've actually created a hole already. One could then venture to say, okay, I can go in there and start working it with my knife. I like to say, you know what? Don't get overzealous. Take your time. If you need to score a little bit more to weaken that Lexan a little bit more on that side, take your time and do so. Take into consideration, you also have this other piece of Lexan in the back. You are going to have to cut through that second layer as well when you're doing the trunk on these. All right, so now looking at the other side as well, guys. Index finger here, thumb here, because it's weak on the side. I'm going to go ahead and just give it a couple squeezes. Oh, I heard it. All right, and there it is. It snapped. All right. So now you have a nice straight edge line. It's not crooked. It's not jagged. Adding a little bit of sandpaper to, fine tune it, it's going to come out pretty good. I don't know if I'm good enough to snap the top yet. Due to the reason is because this section is so thin, you really don't want to overdo it, right? So, but now that we have that started, you guys can see there, it's a great start, So I'm going to take my blade and I'm going to see if I can get this bad boy into the corner there. That went good. Do the same thing on this side. Just get right to the corner there. Nice. And because this section is so weak, due to that little thin layer that's going to be there, I'm just going to kind of take my time and work that corner, because that's going to be the area that I need the weakest at the moment. Ooh, that blade snapped. So I don't have hinges for this yet, Tony. There's a couple guys out there that do make hinges. I do recommend checking in with them and see what is made. I can share with you guys the hinges that I use. They are 3D printed hinges. I 3D printed them myself. I have a 3D printer at home, a very small one, so I can do small little things like that. But yeah, anyone that 3D prints, a lot of the guys out on the Redcat Lowrider page already make the hinges, so you can definitely order them from those guys. Or if you want, you can head on over to thingiverse.com, and you can, if you have a printer, you can get the file and start doing your own, All right, there we go. See if we can get this corner started. All right, now you guys can see just by working it, now I can get my finger through there, all right? Same things you're going to do on both sides. You're going to keep working the corners, making sure that once you release the corners, it'll make being able to snap the top piece a lot easier. With that said, guys, I think it's going to be safe to say that we're going to probably extend this one into next week so that we can wrap up. And it'll give me, hopefully, an opportunity to print some hinges in preparation for next week's episode as well. For a lot of you guys that don't know or have questions about the how many times have I stabbed myself with the knife? None, thankfully. So, guys, next week, actually, hold on. All right, well, really quickly. So now you guys know SEMA Build Off is in full effect. You know what the rules are. Check the rules in the description. They'll be there as well. There should be a social media post that hit all of the social media platforms with all of that information as well. Step one is signing up on our website. The link is in the description and in the posts that are being shared. Step 2 is taking pictures of your build using the appropriate hashtag so that we can go ahead and find that vehicle based on the hashtags. Once we find your vehicle, if it's a vehicle that we like, we're then going to go ahead and verify whether or not you signed up. If you signed up, you're good. If not, you forfeited. It's that simple. Couple rules to keep in mind. The Redcat Lowrider 2022 Redcat Lowrider SEMA Build Off is going to be based off of a couple of things, using an LRH 285 chassis or an LR 260 chassis. These are the chassis that come with the 64 and the Monte Carlo. Rear stock axle housing should be used, and the rest is up to you, right? Use your creativity, have fun with it. You guys got to see a lot of cool cars that were built last year that were entered. In fact, the red one that you see right there on the bottom, that's Jeff Lozano's car. Actuated rear trunk, pump setup in the rear. The paint was amazing. Convertible at that. And then, I hate to say it, but it's like way up here is Louis Alcala's, great car as well. Beautiful ride that was entered in last year as well. So lots of beautiful cars are out there. A lot of people are going to want to, enter into this thing. And we really look forward to, again, displaying your vehicle at SEMA and having hopefully hundreds and thousands of eyes throughout the whole week that it's there, just looking at your ride that's on display. So we appreciate you guys for that. Teddy Westby, man, Teddy, I need to find a way to get you a Redcat toolkit, man. We don't make one, but man, I'm with you. No, unfortunately, this is not a Redcat one. It's a Redcat employees one. I mean, it counts for something. But, man. So, all right, guys. So we'll extend this episode into next week into part 3, where we'll cut the rest of the trunk off. You guys can already see the work that's been done. I already have, let me see, sure on this side. I already have that corner taken care of, which you can see my fingers through. We're going to go ahead and concentrate on the corners a little bit more. We have the straight line being made. We'll then next week talk about how we're going to get through this extra piece of Lexan in the back, as well as the hinges that you're going to need. So, guys, thank you so much for a great episode. If you are entering the SEMA Build Off, I'm looking forward to seeing your rides. So make sure you're using the appropriate hashtags, and let's get it. It's going to be a great time. October 11th is your deadline. So you got 3 months. Let's do it. Let's have a good time. From all of us here at Redcat to all of you guys, thank you so much for the ongoing support. Being a part of this scene is amazing to us. We love it. We're huge fans of it. And we just can't wait to see what the future is going to hold with all of you amazing builders. So you guys stay safe, and we'll see you guys next week. After next week's show, we will wrap up, and your boy's going to head out to Colorado Springs for the Colorado Lowrider Super Show. I'll be going live from there as well, and that's 1 week from this Saturday. So stay tuned. We're going to be out there. If you're going to be out there, make sure you stop on by and say what's up to us. All right, guys. You guys stay safe. We'll see you guys next week for part 3. Stay blessed.